All right, man. Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, bro, how are you?
Yeah, good, man. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
This has been a long time coming, actually.
Has been.
Ever since I lost your comment on that video I had to delete. This is one of the ones we had to delete off, I think. But why don't you give the guys a quick intro to who you are?
Sweet, cool. My name's Sam Ringdale. I'm the founder of a brand called Better Than Before, and just striving to be a better version of myself each and every day.
Yeah.
And hopefully inspire some others to step up and do the same.
Cool, man. Awesome. Like, I'm going to get right into it because I want to know. No one has a company called Better Than Before if they weren't better before. So, like, where did this come from? Like, what was this? Give me the backstory, because I've only seen some of your content, so I don't know the full thing.
Yeah, cool. I guess it just stemmed from a bit of reflection and looking back and thinking, am I completely content and happy with life? And life was good. Yeah. I had my own home. I was about to have my son.
Yeah.
I don't think I was a bad person as such.
Yeah.
I've made plenty of mistakes, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
and I've probably repeated them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just looking back. I'd worked for Red Bull, I'd worked for Under Armour. Sales is kind of like my background.
Cool.
I had looked at it in the past, like I thought about having my own brand, what that would look like, and went on that journey, and then it just didn't commit to it.
Yeah.
I thought it just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
And then getting stuck into content myself and educating, listening to like Gary Vee and bits and pieces, and I was just like, it was more from a self-development journey for myself. Yeah. And then I was like, maybe I can actually, through the things that I'm learning, share those things and inspire others. Yeah. And I just felt that like a lot of businesses and brands are very transactional. Yeah. So I was like, how could I possibly make a difference in other people's lives based off my experience and just be a good cunt, really?
Yeah, cool.
And push that message. Yeah. And then hopefully off the back of that, if I can do a really good job, because I wanted to make it cool, coming from like Red Bull and stuff like that. Yeah. Their brand love and their can love is, everyone loves the brand, probably doesn't buy the product.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was like, I felt there was an opportunity there. I probably haven't done the job that I felt is needed yet, but I'm committed to it. I believe in it. The opportunities that have come my way, the person that I am, and things like being able to give up alcohol coming up 3 years now.
That's awesome, bro.
And I still haven't got everything squared away that I want to, but each and every day I'm taking some step forward, and it's just about breaking it down. And sometimes for myself personally, I'm kind of like a perfectionist, and like I think it's important to just break it down and just be like, just focus on that one day, that one moment, that one step. Yeah. I just think I wanted to put the content out there and basically I've learned in probably the last 6 months is instead of trying to talk to everybody else, just try and talk to what I wish that I knew from an earlier age. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And it hasn't been easy. Yeah. And I'm just like, I've been all over the show. I've been sloppy as, and now I want to start getting a lot more strategic, structured, and make the impact that I think's needed out there right now.
Yeah, love it, bro. That's awesome. Hey, I'm going to ask some quick questions. Yeah. So you 3 years sober, so that 2020 we're talking. Yeah. Yeah. When did the Better Than Before start?
It was that personal development journey. Yeah. So my son was about to be born. Yeah. I started making some changes and looking at I need to be better physically, mentally, and financially. Yeah. And then off the back of that, I was like, if I could commit, what does my ideal life look like? Yep. And I was like, I'd like my own brand based off who I am. I think I'm a good person. Yep. Some people might disagree with that a little bit. But I think I'm a genuine person that that cares for others, sometimes to the detriment of myself. Yep. I'll bend over and then I get, taken for granted, but that's okay. Yep. And so I was like, how can I guess, monetize this, build this into a brand and give as much as I possibly can. And at the end of the day, I feel like it's something that my son's can look back on for the rest of his life and see, that I had a crack at it anyway.
Nah, for sure. And I'm going to keep pressing.
Yeah, cool.
What's the date? When did we start?
16th of March, 2021.
Cool. So that's when the business started. That's when the brand
started. That's when the business was officially registered.
Cool. Perfect. No, that's good to know. And let's get some history so we know all the things that we started with, so we know how to move forward. So cool. Tell me about that. So March 2021. Yeah. Till what are we 2 and a bit years into it now? What is like? Tell me some milestones in the business. Like, what does it look like? What like successes? Like, some of them are only financial successes, clients, things like. What are some of the big milestones that's happened along the way?
I guess the things that have sort of come from it is I have done some coaching, some forms of coaching, and also I've had the opportunity to do speaking and things as well.
Awesome.
So I was just at Main Freight a couple of weeks ago for the second time, and talking to their emerging leaders and things like that. Also too is speaking at like resilience or mental health breakfasts and things like that. Some of it's been unpaid and just chucking myself in the deep end to grow.
Startup mode.
For sure. And then also the podcasting, I've had sponsorship come and go. I've been like a nice to have, not a need to have. I'll put my hand up for that too because I haven't been consistent with it. It's definitely a platform that I really love because of the opportunity to network, for me to learn or have insight into somebody that maybe I admire or whatever it is. And then it's just, repetition to tell the story or get perspective from somebody else and be able to share that so then that can resonate to help somebody else to be better. Also too is the apparel. Hugely, as you'd probably know too, bro. It's not an easy game. Not to say that I don't ever think that it's impossible, but it definitely hasn't been easy. What I've noticed too is a lot of brands is fully focused on that one thing, whereas I just want to add value, and that's just a part of it all. And it's something that I'm really passionate about as well. And then the other, that'd probably sort of be the three sort of, monetization plays. And then also too is getting the opportunity to do some contracting work with what I'm doing now, content and stuff, which I want to learn more of, get more powerful and stronger in that space as well. And they're probably sort of the three or four. The only thing that I don't like about, I guess, doing the one-on-one coaching, like to make the impact that I want, is it's so difficult. And I'm still training time for money. And then outside of that, I'm learning to invest in ways to compound my money and things like that as well.
Cool. Nice.
Okay.
So this is good. So coaching, speaking, apparel. Those are the three streams, right? At the moment. And then there's technically sponsorship as well. That's like brand deal sort of thing. If you talk about the podcast and whatever. And then really the fifth one is like contract work.
Correct.
Cool. So there's a few things to keep things moving. And I suppose, are you there with that many things? Because that's actually quite a lot, really. But you're there because you're startup mode, right? So you're still trying to you've got to put food on the table.
100%.
So that's kind of the necessity, especially with the contract work, right? Is that?
And
that's okay. Like that's good to know, where you're sitting from. Okay, cool. From a coaching perspective, tell me a little bit more about who's the type of person that you go after in that, and what's the business model? How do you charge?
I haven't really I haven't even established those sort of things to be honest, because it's been so washy, and I've just tried to be doing too much, or if an opportunity comes, I'm going to execute on this, because probably I've still been financial driven to be I need to put food on the table to make this happen. So if I got someone's oh, can you come clean my toilets or whatever, I'd probably take my camera in there, film with this content.
Love it.
It's just I'll do anything right now. And that's where now it's I need to be more strategic. And be that expert in whatever that field is. So that's just come about. I've sort of just looked at other people in the market and just been okay, this is kind of what it is, or put my value on it. So I've got an NLP qualification as well. That came about just by, I was at a seminar. Mum works for Cookie Time. They were massive on it about giving back to their staff and things like that. And then I just went up to them and was like, hey, look, I want to make some serious positive impact out there. How could I do that? How could I be doing kind of what you're doing, speaking in front of people, inspiring them to make positive changes, giving them some framework to take away home. And then they gave me that opportunity to do that. But again, it was am I seriously I don't want to be that guy that's selling courses or that sort of thing. I'd rather be having conversations like this, growing, sharing that, and then figuring out how to monetize off the back of it.
Okay, cool. Tell me about give me an example about the most recent coaching, even if the coaching isn't paid, even if it was just something you did, right? Just how did that look? what were the sessions like from your labor's perspective? Like,
Yeah.
what did that look like? Give me an example. You don't have to give details and names
Oh,
and
no,
stuff
I'll
like
give
that.
the
But
details.
like,
So main freight, right? So that was probably a group session.
Yep.
Then he basically, that came about by, I commented on his son who's quite big on TikTok.
Okay.
He does a lot of kicking tutorials and things like that.
Yeah.
And he just saw me drop a positive comment saying like, keep up the good work. So I saw that he was disciplined. And then he happened to be the branch manager of their warehouse division.
Cool.
Saw what I was doing and then wanted me to come in there. So I did one last year for their branch managers, and then this time it was their emerging leaders.
Yeah.
And basically they gave me 2 sessions. One was in Christchurch, one was in Auckland. And he said, I just want you to add value to these people, and based off who you are, what you've learned. So I just broke it down looking at habits, values, identity, purpose. And that was it was about $1,000 for both of those sessions.
Yeah. 1,000 each.
No, it was $500 for both of them.
Yeah, perfect.
And for me too.
How long were those sessions?
About an hour.
Yeah, cool.
I looked at different ways, but for me, I was just like, he's done me a favor. I just want to give her a massive brand, right, as well. And I've planted the seed to be like, is there, a
you put that
long-term-
content out, haven't you? Didn't you?
I recorded it, and I just got a new camera, and it's pretty average.
Oh, okay. Was there one that you put out recently? You're at a group.
Yeah, that was it.
That
conversation.
That was it. I thought it was. Yeah. So
just to show that I'm like,
you got paid $500 to make content.
Yeah,
that's mean.
Yeah, and fly down there. All my family's there.
Yeah.
And it blew me away because the things I spoke about. Basically, no one in that room knew what their values were, what their purpose was, why they get out of bed in the morning. And I was like, it really has shown me that more needs to be done, and there's a fucking huge opportunity in that space. And even I was like, so who are you guys here listens to music while you're at work? Everyone put their hand up. And then I was like, so do you guys have things that you want to achieve in your life?
Yeah.
They all put their hands up. And then it's like, so how are you splitting that time? Like how much of that is going into music? How much is going into self-education, into podcasting? And like one person put their hand up to say that they listen to a podcast every now and again. So I'm just like, holy shit, like there's so much opportunity to get these people on board. Yeah. But it's about how to go about that without being like, you need to fucking sort your life out, you useless prick,
it's hard,
And then, again, it's like I really want to tell that cool story. Like I want to make it look cool. Like I've had my mate who was like a pro BMF athlete who was aligned and bits and pieces in the past. And, athlete was something that I did want to be a part of it as well. But then things have probably got a bit washed out and what exactly it is where it needs to be.
Yeah, put on focus. Okay, cool. Connor, while we're speaking a little bit, do you mind just pulling up profiles as well? So definitely your TikTok, right? Because your TikTok's, is that your biggest platform?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And that's based off a couple of videos that went viral right at the start from random acts of kindness. And then people were asking for things from me. They like we want hoodies and things. And then but the lead time into it took too long. And then obviously with this platform, just because you've got that does not mean it's going to get in front of them.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But it does help. It does help, and it does help build over time if you're consistent with it. Yeah. So a lot of people think followers isn't as important these days because you can get a video go viral with 0 followers. You can get it go viral with 1 million followers. But you just have like a higher average of views over time. Yeah. The more followers you have, you just have a high average. But what about are these the other ones up there, Connor? Oh, yeah. So what about what other platforms? So you got TikTok?
I'm trying to be on everything.
Yeah. What are we doing on say LinkedIn?
Not as much as what I should be.
Yeah. Are you on there though?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is it? Maybe I just have to type it in.
Yeah.
And then the podcast. Well, Connor's doing that. How much? What's the listener levels of that? Do you know?
It's been up and down because it's inconsistent again. Yeah. I think the top one that I did was with Dre Skrilla. Obviously he brings in quite a few. Yeah. And then breaking down about his struggles and things. It might be about, I don't know, 12 to 1,500.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good still.
Which for me wasn't bad. But probably roughly at least across all platforms is probably 100 to 200. Okay. Which I feel there's opportunity, but it's again that consistency of showing up. Also too, with the people I'm meeting now and things, I really feel that I do have an opportunity to leverage and get the some quality coming through and having some real vulnerable conversations as well. And so, yeah, I want to do that. Like at the moment, I've just moved into a new house. I've got a space probably roughly the same size as this. I've just invested heavily because I love that platform.
Yeah.
And so, I'm going all in on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, perfect. So I was just trying to get everything out just so we can have a chat about it. But like, so we work with a lot of like coaches, people who speak and all that sort of stuff. One of their biggest issues is that like they built their reputation in person. They've got networks. They know all these people, right? And they just did it over years of whatever they've done, and they built up this reputation. And then we'll get into business model soon, but that's kind of how they did it. They all come to us because they're like, okay, but no one knows who we are actually. We've got good business. They might make $250,000, $300,000 a year. So it's fucking New Zealand. That's the top 1%, right?
They'll take it.
Yeah, they're doing fine. But they're like, but how do I grow this? Like, how do I grow this past the people I can interact with on a daily environment? And they all know that social's obviously the way to do it, right? Put out more social, build a bigger brand, more people come in. They can either increase pricing or get more clients. For most of them, it's increased pricing because they already have pretty good client base. Yeah. But usually what we find is that like a lot of the time the models are wrong, like the business models are wrong. Yeah. And there's this like word that like is real prominent these days, which you've used a lot, which is this like monetization word. And I use it as well. And I usually use it for a lot of people who are like creators or that level where they're like, how do you monetize your audience? I think that word shouldn't be used when you're trying to build a business. Yeah. Especially even if that business is coaching or whatever, because like you're not monetizing, you're trying to build a business. Like two different things, right? And I think monetization is more like it's a lower level sort of way of looking at stuff, and it is always cash grabs. Yeah. But you can't build a sustainable business on cash grabs.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
It has to be a sustainable business model.
Yeah.
And the benefit that we have as people starting business in the last few years compared to people who did it 15 years ago is that subscription-based, retainer-based selling is the norm now. Yeah. Everyone has fucking too many subscriptions, right? Like we all have Netflix and all sorts of shit. So like people are used to going, oh, okay, so you pay for services monthly. That's what they are. And so like we got a client who is he's a coach, but he deals a lot in stress and neuroscience and stuff like that. He's had 20 years of experience. He's done heaps of shit. He owns a global educational company that's based out of California. He lives here in New Zealand. But they had this business. It's doing fine. Like the business is turning over pretty decent money. But he's like, his take-home salary was about 300K, which is, again, fine. Like doing fine. But he was like, I'm bringing 90% of the business to this business, and there's 4 directors in this business, and he's the sales guy, like he's the main salesperson. And he was kind of like, well, if I can just, instead of bringing in, he was bringing in 52 clients a year on average, he'd do 1 a week on average. If I can turn that into 10 clients, but instead of them paying the company $4,000 a month, they pay me $4,000 a month, and I run like one-on-one coaching, $4,000 or $5,000. That's 40, 50K a month. Yeah. Like, now I'm making $500,000, 600K a year. Yeah. And the pipeline that I already have for these other clients, I can just send them to those guys, to the company. Hey, you can't afford this, but go pay these guys or whatever. So he stepped out end of April. Yeah, end of April. And so what are we, 2 and a bit months in? He's already at 10 clients signed so he's already at 40K a month. Just by going, is that the right business model for me for what I want in life? And then now you're not really paying for time, right? So you're still coaching, you're still spending time doing stuff. But when you're charging someone $4,000, you're not getting $4,000 an hour, whatever. You're doing what you need to get them right. Yeah. Right. That's what it is. Yeah. So you might have to spend 40 hours in a month. You might have to spend 100, or you might spend 0, right? Because you don't need to. But they commit to a long-term contract. And so it's a little harder when you're like, hey, I'm 2 years into this and I've done some stuff for Mainframe, right? Yeah. So you might not be able to just jump straight into $4,000 a month. But like, I also know guys who have just gone, you know what? I'm going to build up a big presence and I'm just going to do all my shit and I'm going to say I'm worth this much. It's about finding the clients who value that. Have you really understood their need? Have you figured it out? Yeah. And you've already said like you're pretty good at sales and like that's your background and where you're at. But like, what's the basis of sales, right? Like, the basis is just like, what's the problem these people have?
Yeah.
Do I have the solution for it?
Sure. And
so like the speaking opportunities at this stage of your career, I would just be putting your hand up for every single one. Who cares about money? Just as long as you're not losing money.
100%.
Just do every single one, right? It's content, it's free content too. Take your iPhone and just pop it up and film you the whole time and whatever it is, right? So you got free, easy content, do as much speaking, builds your brand, all the podcast stuff. But that coaching piece, like a lot of people get into this mindset too. Like you said before, like it's a nice to have, not a need to have sort of thing. And that's bullshit. Like always is a nice to have. Like always, like companies can cut costs everywhere. I know, because like in hotels they do, like that's where I came from, right? Like they'll cut things that you would have thought was essential for a hotel to run. They're just cut it, just cut it. So I don't even think you've got like that big of an issue. Like how many coffees or prospect calls do you do a week?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
how many?
No, none.
Oh, really? None?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, so zero.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was thinking, maybe two or three.
No.
Bro, that's it.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is why I brought up LinkedIn. So that guy, what's the guy's name from Mainfreight? Like just the guy you spoke to?
Mitch.
Okay, let's just chuck up Mitch.
I don't know if he's actually on there.
Let's just see.
Be.
Let's just see. Mitch, what's his last name?
Oh, fuck, that's terrible.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do...
search up Mainfreight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Search up Mainfreight. And just go to people. Yeah. So many fucking people. And then, these guys are going to be... Oh, here's a branch manager. Go up.
Nah.
But he's a branch manager, right?
Yeah.
How many fucking branch managers are there? There'll be heaps of people that are in there that are... That's what I was kind of saying. Like, all these guys are there on here as their title. So, with like TikTok, it's like, I got 28,000 people, but I don't actually know who they are. There's no way to know.
Yeah.
Most people don't post, so therefore you can't see who they are. You can't see what they do. They don't have to put anything about them in their things. But on LinkedIn, you have to. Like, you have to say who you are, and you can't lie about it, because everyone will be like, bro, you're not the CEO of Mainfreight. Fuck off. Like, you're not this dude. All your mates will call you out. And actually, LinkedIn has like a really robust profile checking system. Like, when we take over clients' profiles and we start posting as them and start putting out the content, we'll often have it get shut down at least once in the first month from LinkedIn, where we have to upload a passport or license to get it back, because they're like, oh, this is unusual activity. We think this is a bot. Yeah. And it's just because they did nothing, now they're doing heaps.
Yeah.
And so that tells you a couple of things. It tells you that it's trust. You can trust the people that you're looking at, that these are the actual people that I need to talk to. The job title says so. And two, you're not going to worry about like a bunch of random spam people, and anyone who's following you is who they say they are, sort of stuff, right? And all I do, like all our clients come from LinkedIn, like very few come from our TikTok, like very, very few, is I'd go find all the companies I want to work for, find the people, connect with them, or find the ones. So I was fucking getting a train of thought here. Two trains of thoughts going on inside my head. The first one is I'll connect with them, and if your profile's set up in a way that it says what you do, you might just get lucky. And someone go, bro, actually, I need to chat about this. Or, oh, fuck, I seen you on TikTok. Or I seen you on here, right? Who knows? And that does happen. Like, just randomly, someone will be like, you connect with 500 people. One of them's the right guy. And then you have the conversation. So that's the first thing. The second one is like, you find all the people you want to talk to through the search. So that search bar at the top there allows you to search from job title. It allows you to search from company name, whatever you want. Location based, everything. So you can literally just go like branch manager for logistics companies in New Zealand and be like, hey,
you can add a name in even.
Yeah, you can add people's names, companies' names, all sorts, right? So you can
I have used it a little bit, not so much for that,
Yeah.
but just for trying to get in front of people that I want to have a chat to, like JP. Like, he gave me his time because I reached out to him and said, this is what I want to do. And he's like, come in for a coffee.
Yeah.
And then he ended up giving me like his for 12 months he gave me my phone and my internet for free. He's like, I just want to support you a little bit.
He's a fucking
And then he
man, eh?
brought like $500 worth of a barrel and then posted it all over his LinkedIn. I was
He's
like,
a
you're the
gangster,
fucking
eh?
man. Yeah.
He's so good, bro. He's like the best bloke ever. Okay, how many people have you messaged on that, doing that?
Nah, bugger all. Like a few people, like just like that of, you know, like CEOs and things,
Yeah.
like to see if I can, like, just to have
Yeah.
the conversation.
How many come back to you on average, you reckon?
Probably 50%, half maybe.
Oh, so you're just like, how many leads are you talking to? You're like, none. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, but every 1 in 2 people you message on LinkedIn says, yeah, let's have coffee.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to do more of that.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you just need to do more of that. So when I started this company, because you're in exactly the same position as me, except probably I gave up drinking in 2017. So
Yeah.
we're like, I'm 3 years ahead, maybe, let's call it, right?
Yeah.
Which is fucking heaps of time when it comes to this, actually. So I get it. But in 2019, end of 2019, I just went on here. I messaged heaps of people. I just told them my little story, which was, hey, I'm moving back to New Zealand. Haven't lived here for 12 years. Just trying to network with some people. Love to have coffee. And I was probably getting like a 10, 20% conversion rate on that. It helped because I was like, they looked at my history and they're like, general manager, blah, 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 and all stuff. So it was some like, he isn't just some fucking random salesperson trying to sell some shit. And I had no business. I had nothing, right? And so they're like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Like, let's have a coffee. And
even got the degree, didn't finish.
Yeah, I know. I even put my school that I didn't finish. I still have that. Yeah, I think maybe I even said at one stage like it's not finished. I don't know if it's still there though. It just sits in there. Yeah. It's just 2005 started. No end date. But like, so I had all this in. I messaged. Oh, at that time you could message way more people. Like you could literally send 1,200 invites a month.
Oh yeah.
And I would do that, and then I'd get maybe fucking, I don't know.
Because premium's fucking expensive, eh?
Oh, you don't need premium.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't need premium, bro.
Yeah.
You don't need premium. But you can, but you don't need it. But, you know, like right now, you can send 100 connections a week to people.
Yeah.
And if you can get 20 of those people to be like, to connect, or say something, if you can get 4 or 5 of them to have coffee out of 100, which I know I'm throwing numbers around and like,
that's
honestly,
definitely
in sales,
achievable.
it's achievable.
Yeah.
In sales, you probably shouldn't really extrapolate out stuff like that, but it is achievable.
Yeah.
I mean, now you've gone from 0 to 4. You know, like it's actually that easy. Like, you know that because you did it to JP.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually not that hard. Every time I tell people to do this, they do it. And they're like, oh, bro, I got all these meetings booked. My sister-in-law was here over the summer and she was looking for new jobs. And I told her what to do. And I was like, just do it for jobs. It's the same thing, except you're doing big contracts. This is like, if you get paid $100,000 a year, that's $100,000 contract a year. Like, that's the same fucking thing. It's sales.
Yeah.
You're selling yourself. And then they messaged me the other day and she's like, oh, I've got all these interviews of Louis Vuitton and blah, 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 and all these things. So, like, your problem's not even that hard to solve. Like, your one's super easy. Like, you've already got the TikTok stuff going. You just need to do more of it because it is what it is. Just do more, hone in on the podcast. We can talk about that more shortly, though, just to break down that.
Yeah.
But actually, like, from a business perspective, what you should be doing is finding all these people, picking your balls up and just being like, bro, like, just want to have coffee and just have as many coffees as you can, which means that you're going to have to find time in your day to do that because you got other commitments and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But like, I was doing 20 coffees a week I only really stopped doing 20 coffees a week about a year ago. And now I do, but I do about 10 a week. Or late last couple of months I haven't done that, but like I was doing about 20 a week. So it was like 20 hours of my week spent having coffees with random people.
Yeah.
The first 6 months was fine because I had no business, had no job.
Yeah.
I had enough money to sustain myself. Then lockdown happened. And then I was doing about 12 a day in lockdown. I just like the whole time on lockdown, I just spent on calls. And then since lockdown, I pretty much averaged 20 a week. And then recently it's gotten a bit less, but also our brand's built. So I'm getting a lot more qualified people come through now.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they kind of know our price range and what we do.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do as many either. But like a lot of people like look at us and be like, "Oh, you guys grew fast." And I was like, "Yeah, but like, how many leads calls did you have a week?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, one or two." Or I'm like, "Yeah, I did 20." And I think like you already said, like, I'll go clean toilets if I have to. I'll do this. Like, why not just have a coffee with fucking JP?
Yeah.
And be like, hey, JP, like, have you got a group of people that need some support? Like, I'd love to do some shit. Like, just is there a group of people, even if I did a free one with you guys and see what the impact was with them?
Yeah.
Is there a team that needs some support or something I
Every
can do?
knows $1,000.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. You've seen that one. Yeah. And that's 100%, bro.
Yeah.
But like, I agree with you. Like, free labor, like free getting your product out there, honing it, because like you essentially made it up, right? Like I did.
Yeah,
You just
for
made
sure.
up this business. Like,
Yeah.
I did the same.
Yeah, that's it.
Just made it up.
Yeah.
Why not just like find a bunch of big notable brands? Like I mean, JP's probably a good example. Just like, can you just give me a shot? Can I record it all? Make some content with you guys. I'll give you guys some big impact, but I want to be able to say that I helped 1NZ because I want to go after other brands.
Yeah.
And like he'd probably do it. Like him or someone will do it. They'll pick it up. They'll be like, yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Like, I mean, you could do that to us. Like I'd say, get the guys, make some content. Like let's do an hour session and or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Of course we would. Of course people would. Then you build up the content like you did with Main Freight. Keep pushing it out. You start putting that content out here on LinkedIn, bro. You'll like, without like trying to oversell its effectiveness, like you'll start having business from that within months because you've already got the TikTok to prove clout.
Yeah.
Because people are going to look, oh, fuck, he's not nobody.
Yeah.
Numbers are dumb. Like people just think, oh, fuck, he's got heaps of followers. He must be somebody. That's what people do even with my one. Like, because LinkedIn, that's a pretty large follower. Like, it's not massive, but like it's pretty decent.
Sizable.
Yeah, it's sizable for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously people way
like
more
anyone
than
that
me.
looks at my page, I'm just like, boom, like I'll try to connect with them, mate. Like, oh, you've looked, you know who I am now. Let's connect.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's so funny. Like, and everyone pretty much accepts it. Like, there's not many people that don't.
Nah.
Whereas a lot of other platforms, you send it out, like, it can get lost.
Yeah.
Whereas that, they're
The
just
follow
like, yeah,
follow
sweet. Yeah.
Instagram approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. What stops you from doing that? What from that? What I've said, like, what happens?
No,
inside
nothing
you?
really.
Yeah.
Nah, like I feel like that's it's easy enough. I don't know why. Yeah, understanding that. I guess it's I listen to not so much anymore, but Iman Gadji.
Oh, yeah.
And like he just pretty much says the same thing. It's just like repetition,
Just
right?
reps, bro.
Just getting it out.
Yeah.
I guess it's still that imposter syndrome as well.
Yeah.
It's like, who am I? What the fuck do I have to offer you?
Yeah.
And I just can't stand it when people will send me a message. I mean, maybe if it's a bit more personal and it's just there's other than saying that, hey, I'd love to catch up for a coffee. You know, your business or you as a person inspire me.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then see what comes
Yeah.
through just having a genuine conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to be that guy that sends out, maybe it's my own detriment, but like 100 DMs to people and like just being like real, yeah.
So I agree. I get it. What I would say is like, you could send the best perfect message, but if you send it to someone who just before that had some dude selling them SEO services, if they click today,
Yeah.
they're gonna look at yours and be like, "Fuck this guy,"
Yeah.
because they're just gonna. So
It is what it is. Yeah.
what I tend to say these days, like I know like cold hard outreach on LinkedIn works because I did it. I don't really recommend it for people because I think it does somewhat have some negative connotation, especially after pandemic.
Yeah.
Because everyone did it, and fuck, all our clients that we had all did it, so we spammed the shit out of Auckland. So we probably ruined it for everyone else. But like, I think that if you just send like a genuine message, like, hey man, like, love you guys, love your company, I would love to grab coffee. Like, I'm on this journey, this is what I'm trying to do. I don't want to take up too much of your time, like 15, 20 minutes, would love to have a quick coffee with you if that's cool. If not, ignore me, move on. Just something like that, right? And you just go and put it out to everyone. It's not, you're not trying to pitch them anything. You're just trying to say, hey, just trying to connect. I'm on this journey. Like, I'm at the start of this thing. It's up to you if you want to help me or not. You don't have to.
Yeah. But if you don't, nah.
If you don't, you're fucked.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, most people will just be like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, I got 15 minutes. Fuck it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And actually, what I find is like guys who are like CEOs or business owners who have been doing quite well and all that, they all have time for people.
Yeah.
Because they've all been there. Like, the only way they got to their success is because they've had some shit they've gone through. And so they've all been at some stage where they're like, bro, I know exactly what you guys are about. Like, let's go. I'm the same. Like, whenever I get all these, like, oh shit, moving away from this. Whenever I get these young kids who message us and who want to talk, or I have people come into my messages and email me, and
Yeah.
I always give them the time for it because I was like, bro, I was like you.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even
You
the
can't
guys like, who
knock
try to
that.
pitch
Yeah,
me,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
always. The guys who pitch me these days, like, I probably take less calls with them, which I used to do all the time. But I
Just managing time out.
I just don't have as much time anymore. So I'll still send them some shit, or if they ask or whatever. Or if I can't be fucked, I just ignore it. It's fine. Don't be a dick about it. But I think that like imposter syndrome piece there is like, well, they may, like, most people won't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
the reality. Yeah, 100%.
that's just the reality.
Yeah.
Most people won't.
Yeah.
But if you don't ask, you're not going to get any of them come to you. So you have to sort of get over your own shit. Like,
I think I've pretty much done that, but it's still like it does rear its head from time to time, you know. And then it's just I guess understanding like where the best use of my time is, and only having one person's perspective on that when you're trying to build something you've never done before. It's you can only you don't know what you don't know. Like, I mean, that's a pretty basic approach to it, right?
Yeah.
But then it's how do I then understand, okay, this is exactly what it is, and this is the time that I need to allocate to that.
It's literally like I reckon in half an hour a day you can implement the strategy.
Yeah.
You get a message, fucking make it generic and copy and paste, and there'll be like heaps of people out there like, oh, fucking don't do that. That's shit. You should personalize. Fuck. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you're
Numbers game, eh?
You're a startup.
Yeah.
You don't have the luxury of going, oh, I've got 20 grand a month coming in, I can just take my time. No, you don't. Like, you're taking jobs to put food on the table. So like, it's like, no, how can I quickly get to a point where I'm talking to enough people that I can get some real contracts in here from a coaching perspective? And we'll get into business models soon, but like, that's like, there's no point having a business model if you're not talking to anyone. Like, you know, you can't pitch these people any services if like you're having 0 coffees a week. Like, there's no way I think you can build a professional services business or B2B business purely based on content. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
No, not to the level that you need it. You know, that's what a lot of people think. They're like, oh, I'll put out this content, I'll do all this stuff, and Mainfreight will come and hire me for 2 things, and I just need more of those. So I'll put out more content.
Yeah.
It's just not how it works. Not in B2B and professional services.
Yeah.
Selling your t-shirts, maybe.
Yeah.
100% selling your t-shirts.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different game in itself, and that's another strategy. And like, apparel brands are good, but what you'll tend to find with all the apparel brands who took off is that they've got to a certain size of these guys just hustling. They all run at break even the whole time, if not behind, and then they bring in an investor, and the investor takes them off. Yeah, like even like Gymshark, right? He did the same. Yeah. Brought in investors, boom, blew up. Like, he's still super smart, hustled. Yeah. But it was the investors who helped him do, and they had industry experience in logistics and things like that that help him scale. But like in professional services, that's just not how it happens. Like, people they want to have coffee with you, they want to talk to you, and in the beginning, until people know you and know what your value is, and it starts like getting around, your content's not going to bring them in. It's just going to take ages. Like, it's taken my content. Well, actually, that's hard to say. It took us 3 years to the point where I never did any outreach. Like, everything was inbound, or maybe 2.5 years. But I also spent those 2.5 years having 20 coffees a week. Yeah. So there's also that brand building too. Yeah. So I would say I would say this on this thing here, if you want to really get into professional services space, I'd get rid of the coaching, or I'd make it really high. Like, I'd make it $12.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Just jack the price. Yeah. Like, I used to have one, I took it off, but I just did it to as an experiment as $1,000 just to see what it'd do. And I had people going, oh man, I can't afford that hour with you, but like, is there something else we can do? And then that led into other things. Yeah, got you. But it's about positioning you, like, where's your value? Like, if you really want to be able to get a few $1,000s a month of a client, like, you can't have a one-on-one coaching cost $120. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I did want to pretty much get rid of that anyway. Yeah. Because with the revenue it's generating, it's not even worth it. Like, I'd rather be driving traffic to my own website and having like everything that I do there. Yeah. And then also just like when I'm doing, with Mainfreight or whoever is having those testimonials, having the podcast on there. Yeah. If I do some merch and stuff like that as well. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that the persona that you have on that, if we can just go back one to his
Because even like that right now, it's like it costs money, and it's like the return's like not even there. So yeah, I'm really wanting to go back and go back to basics.
I think so too. I think you should look at like on this page, just be socials, and even go up. Sorry, Connor. There's even this book. There was a time 3 or 4 years ago where this was a real smart idea.
It has generated a lot of data for me.
100%. But the issue that you have is it's a brand perception.
Yeah.
So what happened is you had Ty Lopez come out and be like, everyone want a Lamborghini. And then like everyone did that. And then this became, everyone was like, it's a free ebook, which means it's a start of a funnel. They all know it.
Yeah,
we all know it.
Yeah.
And we're so desensitized to it that then we shut off the funnel, most of them. And so, and a lot of these guys will tell you like who do this successfully, like their conversions dropped right off over time because of whatever. Sure. But you were in the professional services space of coaching. Like you're not in a low margin game here. Like professional, like guys who do this sort of coaching, like when I've done in-person training for a team on LinkedIn, because sometimes that's all they want, for a 4-hour session, I'll charge them $5,000. And like, they were just like, yep, makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good return for us.
Yeah.
We get our 10 guys trained up on LinkedIn. They make 2 sales. We make $200,000. Costs us $5,000.
Yeah.
You know, your I guess thing is going to be like, if I can get your guys to be 20% more productive, how much better is that for you as a company? You know, just by making them read more and do more or whatever it is, being better than before. What does that increase for them? What is that growth? So charging them like $4 or $5,000 for a workshop isn't outrageous. Like it's probably normal.
Yeah.
But you can't do that if you've got a free 7-day challenge book. You know what I mean? Like it's a brand perception thing.
For me, the thought process behind that was obviously, the capturing that and then user generated content, because everything that comes from me, like my face, like I want to build community, and that was my thinking behind that. And so like I don't know, have you seen like that Project 50 Days and stuff? Similar sort of thing. So I just wanted to, I've gone back and I wanted to sort of relaunch it, and it was based off like 7 days, 7 tasks, 7 weeks, and that's how I live my life. So then that way it's easy for me to create content because I'm doing that every single day. It helps build that consistency and show that the action is there, and then there's no real, I guess, thought in behind what I'm creating each day. And having
No, I get it. I don't think the concept's wrong. Like as in like the 7-day challenge isn't wrong. What we say, and look, I might be completely off the mark here, but I'm thinking that the coaching side of it is where you can really make revenue faster to support the other ventures, like the other things, because like it is definitely needed. Like what in those sorts of topics is what it is. You might go, well, actually, Stan, I think I should be doing more money in or more content because I want more apparel sales, or I want more of this sales and more of that sales. I'm like, the way I look at it is like, what's the lowest hanging fruit? Like, what's the easiest way to get money in now? The money's the tool. The tool allows you to get a team or get support or get structure, gets food on the table, stops you having to do like work for people that are growing their business, not yours. And then, which is fine. Like you got to, we all got to do what we got to do to get through. Sure. But like, how do you get to a position where you can, all this money is helping me grow this business, not everyone else's? And like the coaching thing's like solid. Like coaches, the reason why there are so many coaches in the world is because like we all need them. Like all businesses need support. We've got a business coach, 100%. We need her. She charges fucking, I don't know, $8,000 a day. Like, $9,000 a day. Fucking, you got to go 5
What's
times a year.
What's the return been for you though? Like,
massive. The guys have already, like, we're way better as a team because of it. If we didn't have it, it's given us somewhat of a structure in the chaotic environment we have.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
So like same thing, right? Like there's like some real low hanging fruit there. So I think what I'm trying to say is like, how do you reframe in your branding to go like, no, I'm actually like a legitimate coach. Like I'm not some dude who's trying to get you into some funnel or sign up for one-on-one coaching. Like, you know, like I'm a B2B professional services person. You know, I might look like I, you know, fucking ride motorbikes or, you know, whatever it is, right? Like Red Bull, you know, you got the street look, right? But that turns into the branding piece, which is like, I'm coming to tell you stuff that's different to what you know, so I have to look different. Like I'm the same, right? Like I walk into a lot of accountants and whatever, and I'm wearing a t-shirt or whatever, and it was like a differentiation. But when you walk in and they're like, oh yeah, so you're going to charge us $5,000, but I can also go get a free ebook or 120. So instead you just change it. Like that 7-day book, can we go up to that one again? Is that easy to, does this take you through a whole thing, or is it easy to download?
No, just that, and then boom, it'll send it
downloads?
straight to you. Yeah.
Maybe do it off camera and you can just quickly download it and bring it up. Is that all right?
It's pretty, like, I don't like the look of it or anything.
Oh, that's fine.
I've left it on there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's fine. Like, don't get into like criticizing your own shit. Like, don't worry about that. Like, but you're doing something, bro.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, how do you take that and turn that into like consistent content that gets the same impact?
So that was my thinking. It's like, here's this challenge. It's going to change your life.
Yeah.
If like, I've got to be consistent and show up, right?
Yeah.
If I do that, and over the next 7 weeks, so I've pretty much started it now.
Yeah.
And then other people are going to see, I'm in better shape.
Yeah.
These are the wins that I've had along the journey.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't see how people aren't going to start feeling like, fuck, I need to do this. It's absolutely free. Like,
but the thing is it's not free. It's time.
Oh yeah,
and
true.
that's more
Well, it's the most expensive commodity. Yeah,
bro, it's not free at all. Like, it's super fucking expensive to do it, because like we all know how to get fit. We all know how to do it. The thing is, like, you didn't like take on all this like thing because Gary Vee gave you a 7-day book.
Yeah,
you got it because you consistently watched his videos and you going, you know what, this guy's fucking right. I need to fucking do this shit.
Yeah,
and so. How do you just like say that message 1,000 different times constantly? Like constantly push it out. It's actually where my like TikTok is lacking at the moment. Like Connor and I have got a talking head like brainstorm session for my content where like I've stopped saying consistent messages on it for so long, because I started doing the vlog, which means me personally I have no capacity to do any other content because I'm fucking useless, and that's all I can handle in a day.
Yeah.
And then we do the podcast stuff, which is fine. The podcast is podcast, and it has its consistent thing and it's doing what we want it to do.
Yeah.
But like, there's no like consistent message of what I stand for, right? Like I was doing some of it earlier in the year, and I was doing videos, but like that stopped. But like, and that could be your thing. Like, what is the 7-day challenge? Like, what is the crux of all the content in there? How many different ways can I say it? And then it's way more effective than doing that. So you get the impact that you wanted. And getting people to do stuff, you're getting the user-generated content, you start building a tribe around doing stuff. But it's because you're putting out this excessive amount of content about it, the same stuff constantly, like just
the
repeating
messages there without that. Yeah.
And then, but your brand perception now is that you don't give away free ebooks.
Yeah, got you.
And it's just that free ebooks, like, they got killed off because of Ty Lopez and all the rest of those guys. Like, it just became a thing.
Yeah.
Every single coach had one of these. Like, the amount of coaches we've worked with over the years, like the last 3 years, who are like, oh, I've got this great ebook. I was like, no, gives a fuck. How many people?
Same. Yeah.
No one gives a fuck. So what I would do is like, okay, I might be like shooting down the wrong barrel, but like, if you were to get the coaching business to a point where it's bringing in 5 to 10K a month, like, would that
game over?
Would that be good?
Yeah. Well, that's what I want. I just want to do what I want to do for the rest of my life, and that's what it is, because that helps me take action and be consistent. So anything else is a bonus, and I do have financial goals that I want to hit.
Of course.
But that's that would definitely help for sure.
And like, it's not that like crazy to think about. Like, you have to find a business model that's some form of retainership, but that might take you some time until people trust, and you're gonna have to do some deals with people. But like, people aren't that worried about paying someone, $1,500 to $2,500 for 1 or 2 hours worth of talks with their staff.
Yeah. Well, I think the original chat that I did was, what was it? It ended up being like $5,500 they gave me for an hour.
Yeah.
Like,
see, exactly.
Now I've never made that kind of cash ever before, you know, and so if I could multiply that, you know, and then it would help with the brand building, because they were all jumping on board, and apparel was a part of that. So then they're wearing the brand, which obviously helps market it a bit more and stuff too.
And where did that come from?
From commenting on somebody's page.
And so like, just do more of that, right? Like, even the commenting stuff on LinkedIn is fucking stupid powerful. Like, it's almost better than doing content on LinkedIn. Just comment on everyone else's. But the cool thing with LinkedIn,
what's that guy's name again?
Which one?
Your mate that didn't have a business but now does the debt collecting or whatever. Avi or something. He's
Avinash. Yeah.
Comment on everything.
He just comments all day long.
Oh yeah.
And he worked for he's debt collector for Instant Finance.
Oh yeah.
And I told him, I was like, bro, just like, he was already commenting, and I was like, cool, but now put out content, do this, do that, do this, and just ramp up what you're doing, do more of it. And he did it solid for a year. And then he got this insurance broker came out. I was like, bro, you should come do insurance with me. Now it's just like crushing insurance because all those people were like, oh, I love you, Avi. Oh, you're doing insurance? I'll get my insurance with you. Like, I got to get it with someone. May as well be with this dude that I love.
Yeah.
He's fucking every time a post goes up, Avi, straight there. Like, it's like, it's just great. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
So, like, if you think about like, those opportunities came to you with like real minimal effort, actually. Like, if you think about like, your effort was probably like traditional social media stuff, like, which is why you've got the TikTok and things like that. Yeah. But if you take like who am I actually selling to? Well, actually, the only people who are going to pay for coaching at the level I need them to are businesses. Like most people, individuals, the regular individual folk won't do it. Or not at the level you want them to pay, right? You're not going to get $4,000 out of some dude who earns $5,000 a month. Yeah. You're not getting him paying $4,000. But like, a CEO of a construction company who needs to get his head right to make sure he's not dropping the ball on $500,000 contracts can afford $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it for him.
Yeah.
Right. And so like our client who does that, like
that's cherry picking, right? Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
He just goes after he's got 10 top CEOs.
I probably haven't focused on the right people either. Like because people that are struggling sometimes can't afford those services. So that's where like the content, I want to be able to help these people. Yeah. But then
make money
to
off
have
those people.
That time of me in person and have
You say both though. Right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Bro, that's my model, 100%. I come from South Auckland, right? Like, all I wanted to do when I did this was help people, and then I realized, well, the people I'm helping can't pay me, and I need money, I want to do more. Yeah. So I need more money to hire this guy, so I can do more content, and I can build bigger business. That means I can put out more shit, and that means I can help. But also, it means that I could like fly to Blenheim for the day and talk to 1,500 kids because I could. Because like I had a business running that I could take that time. I got content out of it, but they didn't pay me. Like they flew me down, but they didn't pay me for the day.
Yeah, so I've had those opportunities too, is to speak in front of schools and help. I guess speak about some of those things, which is like to me is like invaluable.
Oh, 100%. But my point of that is like going, if you've got the income in it,
you can do what you want.
So I earned money while I was down there, right? Like we maybe $15,000 that day, like while I was off doing that. And that's where you kind of need to be so you feel the engine. So like, what are the low hanging fruits? What's the easiest way to generate an income? And in your world, the coaching thing I can see as being the easiest, like 100%. You're going to have to get over yourself and be like, nah, I'm not an imposter. I fucking got some value to add. Yeah. I'm a good dude. I've got good shit to sell. The only way to do that is like getting your coffees up, like meeting new people and having coffees with them. The only way to get more coffees is to find out where those people are and ask them for those coffees. We know they're on LinkedIn or networking events, but networking events are tiring and time consuming. Still do them though, they're good. Like 100% agree with them, but they're a lot of effort compared to LinkedIn. Yeah, what you can do on LinkedIn.
It's just obviously understanding this is how much time I've got in a day. Where do I put that time and what's going to be the best return? Yeah.
So what I try to tell people is who's trying to start out in this is like, where are the parts of my day where I got habits built that I can piggyback this next habit, which is, the habit stacking, right? Like you would know. So like, at which point in my day do I take my shit? Like that's when I'm going to connect with new people. I'm going to sit on the toilet. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I take 10, 15 minutes. Like my morning shit's the longest part of the day, the longest all of the day. But I'm in there like connecting with people on LinkedIn or doing something, right?
Fuck off, I'm connecting with people.
Fuck, get out, mate. And then a coffee, like or like afternoons quite often. If I have a gap like 3, 4 o'clock, like the guys will often see me sitting on the couch and I'll be either scrolling on TikTok to find shit, or I'll be on LinkedIn trying to find comments to comment on. So I like try to habit stack the other things that I've got on already.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't try to carve out other time. Like I don't have other time. Like I've got no other time to do those things. It has to be on top of doing something else.
Yeah. There's definitely space for it. Like you can, if it's important, I can create the time for it. Yeah. And like with doing what I'm doing at Juco now, it's like I'm sitting in front of my laptop all day. It's like I can literally just go boom, boom.
Bro, you should just say to Craig and whatever. Just say, guys, I'm going to try and get us some meetings.
Well,
some sponsors.
I'm already doing that now anyway.
So you do it as Duco.
Yeah.
And then you go I'm going to have all these meetings with these guys and get cold lead them in, and then I'll bring them into you guys.
Yeah.
But in that meeting, you'd be like, oh yes, I work for these guys to do that, but I also do talking and stuff, and just you're double selling, and they're paying you fucking time for that.
Yeah, I've got good contacts. Like I've been speaking to some pretty reasonable sized brands, and again, I think it's important to, at the end of the day, fuck it, just do it for nothing.
Yeah,
get the content,
bro.
Help them out, and then if the business is of a reasonable size, they're probably going to be like, "Oh, we've got new staff now," or like, "Let's get Sam back in 12 months' time," sort of thing. So yeah, that totally makes sense.
I also don't think that it's fuck, we're at 5:30. I also don't think it's we might have to do part 2 because I just got stuck on this thing because I'm going to try and convince you to fucking go out and get some coaching clients. What was I going to say? I don't think it's bad to say to a brand, like, don't be worried, just be like, yeah, like, I'd love to come talk to you. It's like I'm happy to do you guys a deal. Like, you know, I usually charge $5,000 for these things, but like, I just want to do it. Like, if we do it for
$4.99.
if we do it for $1,000, I'd be keen. Like, come in and do it. Yeah, you might be bullshitting out of your ass, but you're not really. You did it once for $5,000.
Would you attach other services to it? So like, if I had like a say you got your diaries and like those little bits and pieces to help push the.
Oh yeah, potentially, but like, if you were going to do it for free anyway, why not just ask, hey, can you give us $1,000? The thing is, I think is the sales piece, which you'll know is like, you can't get to that piece unless you've done all the nurturing beforehand. Like, do they actually need it?
Yeah.
What are the problems? Yeah. And making sure you can do that. And we don't have time to go through fucking sales training, but like, if you can do that piece, then you're fine to ask. I think what you've got to do is like, go practice in the mirror saying how much you're worth.
Yeah.
You know, like that's, I think probably
I think that confidence is certainly building.
Yeah.
Because like, even without, I guess, 2 years like credibility or whatever, it's not a long time. And then getting like global or very established New Zealand businesses that are keen anyway, like, that shouldn't really be a worry too much.
Nah.
But then too, it's like, how do I layer in? Like, now I've just got given an opportunity that I'm doing content with Juco. Does that then become part of the pitch too, to be like, how wide do you go?
Nah.
Yeah.
Focus, bro.
Yeah. I guess wellness is important.
Just when you're pitching, when you're starting out, I would go, like, my biggest mistake when I first started, I started real niche. Literally just doing like LinkedIn connections for people. I was just doing the thing. Because you could do so much more of it. Yeah. And then we ended up doing all this different shit. I did LinkedIn ads. I did all this crap, and all it did was cost me money in the end. Didn't. Like, I just like, people are like, oh, you're growing so fast. It's like, I would have grown way faster if I just focused in on LinkedIn growth and how to help people grow on LinkedIn, and that's it. Yeah. But I tried all this other shit, and even recently, like, there's this other crap that we've been trying to do, and
way too many shiny objects.
Yeah, just too many shiny objects, right?
Let's try that. Let's try that.
And it's just about like, one of the things that's good is that at least like every 3 months, like, we have these big days out with our business coach, and we can kill shit then.
Yeah, got you.
And at least they're not dragging on for 9 months or whatever and trying to do it. Like, just recently we killed off a few different arms of what we were saying we're doing. Just like distractions. Like, the more you can focus, the better. And I know that to a T, and I always get distracted. And so I have to just rein them all in all the time. Yeah. So I would say, like, this content stuff's great. And if you want to do that, go do that. But don't try to do both. Like, just don't. It's just too hard. Yeah. It's too hard to try and like formulate that problem solving thing when you're in a sales conversation with people. Because like, does everyone need content? Yes. Does everyone need the support that you need with coaching? Yep. Everyone. Yeah. Every single person does. Because you know that, right? Like, the whole premise behind Better
I guess it's probably utilizing that as the opening, like you say, is the lead generator, because of the access that they have with these established businesses and brands. Yeah. And then building that out.
Fucking even just using them, those two guys.
Yeah.
Just saying to them, like, hey guys, I need help. Yeah. Like, I need you to put me in front of some people. Yeah. Like, those guys know everyone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know they do.
Yeah.
And so, how do you get yourself in front of them? But honestly, like, without trying to like go round in circles, if you like, I don't know if you'll actually do this because, like, honestly, only 2 people in my life have ever listened to this advice.
Oh, sweet.
One of them is Avinash that we talked about, who's crushing as an insurance broker.
Yeah.
The other one is a girl called Miriam Chancellor. Have you heard of Miriam Chancellor before?
Nah.
So she's on LinkedIn quite big. She went on to build a public speaking coaching. She's a public speaking coach. She is 26. She does 6 master classes a year that are 2 days, 12 people per masterclass, and she charges. And that's only those. That's not all she does. She does private coaching, all sorts of shit. Like, she crushes it. Like, I don't know her actual figures, and I probably shouldn't put this into a clip, but this can stay in the long form. But she crushes it. She's fucking a weapon. And the advice is what I've already said to you. Go on LinkedIn, find the people that you think could hire you for coaching, connect with them, comment on all their shit that you can comment on, as much content as you can, and start taking all those clips of you talking that you got on TikTok and all that sort of stuff, all the podcasts, just start one a day on TikTok, on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Just start putting it out. Just start flooding. Just like go from doing nothing on LinkedIn to being there every day, showing up. And trust me, within like 3 months, you'll be like, bro, Stan, I just made 20 grand. Like, just made 20 grand, like literally in my bank account right now. Like, it's honestly like no one believes me when I tell them that. And then they go and do it. Well, only 2 people did, and they crushed it. Honestly, like, I just don't know why. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, me and Connor, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we're like, he's like, Stan, you need more leads. Like, you're not doing enough coffee, because he's head of sales. So he like, and I'm their salesperson. So he like crushes me every Friday going, fucking, why aren't you doing your sales?
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't got leads, and making out excuses. And I was like, nah, I'm not getting leads because I'm not putting out LinkedIn content. Got you. So I put out more LinkedIn content specifically around LinkedIn and filled my calendar. Like, I just had a whole bunch of people. Like, when I go to him this Friday, like, I've actually got shit to show him that, like, I've actually done some shit. I put it out and people reached out.
Yeah.
And I just, like, it reminds me every time, like, it's actually not that hard. Like, everyone needs help in their businesses. And there's, like, what have we got in Auckland? Like 30,000 businesses or something, 33,000 or something stupid like that. Like, bro, there's heaps of them.
Yeah.
And actually, I think your target market's probably like mid-sized companies. I think there's a big market there. Like, when I say mid-sized, like 50 plus employees. It doesn't necessarily have to be the corporates. Yeah. Because corporates got layers of shit to go through. But like we got a client who does, well, he's an ex-client of ours who's coming back, but he does like staffing hire, contract labor hire and stuff. He might have like 200-300 staff, something like that. It comes out of his wallet. He just goes, yep, let's do it. Here's the money. Yeah. You know, and he's also doing 30 million. So for him to give you $5,000 is it's fine. Sure. If he sees value, cool. Peanuts, right? Yeah. So those guys are cool because the decisions happen faster. Yeah. There are less of them. Then that's not true. There's more of them than there is corporates, because there's fuck all corporates in New Zealand. Actually, there's hardly any of them. Yeah. So if you just did that and continued your content stuff that you're doing, bro, you don't need to do anything else. Like, honestly, you don't need to do anything else.
Sweet, man, that sounds good. How do I like what do you think the content strategy is? Because I think, again, for me, it's been too washy. Like, just trying new things.
Can we just bring up real quickly, because I know we're going to finish up because Connor's looking at me going, I want to go home, you prick. Just on the TikTok, I'll show you. Can we scroll down a little bit? Like this, bro. Like, look at this. Like, 100%. You speaking. Keep going down a little bit to the next line. I'll scroll down a little bit further.
There's the
I remember I seen this one. I remember him coming up. He had a whole bunch of people commenting about on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those podcast ones, you talking, like, just more and more of that, I don't think is bad at all. Like 500 to 600 is not huge, but every once in a while you get like a 4,000 or a 20,000 or whatever. In your thing, when you're talking about a very specific niche, there's probably like content styles we could talk about, but like in a very specific niche, there's nothing wrong with having 500 people come back every day loving this shit. Because if you think about it, like I always say this, if you have 500 people sitting in front of you that are perfect clients or like really love your shit, would that be a bad thing?
No, not at all.
You'd fucking love it, right?
Yeah.
So what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like my TikTok is way less viral than compared to our Taz, the attention seeker one.
Yeah.
But like my audience is like way more valuable, I reckon. like way more valuable. Like the people who come
Yeah,
back, I know that they're all
yeah.
businesses. Most of them are creators because I talk to other creators. I talk about creator economy, and it's been quite a deliberate strategy.
Yeah.
So I've got like, you know, like it was like crazy yesterday, like when we did the I don't know if you saw, like we did the engagement stuff yesterday, and like I just had all these like top New Zealand creators like comment congratulations, which I thought was really messed up. Like I was like, fuck, this is crazy. Like all these like top guys that I'm like, you guys are millionaires, like all commenting on my shit. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is that like the strategy's right. Even though I'm only getting maybe 1,000 or 1,500 views on average a post, actually lately even less, they're solid views. Like they're real solid views. They're not testing views. You know, like you get the 200 testing.
Yeah.
They're not that. They're like 4, 5, 800
Well, it's
people.
kind of been like, roughly sits around that, and then you get the odd one.
Yeah. Bro, that's it. So then the next question is, okay, how do I make it better? Now that's a different thing.
Where are they dropping off? And
Where are they
looking at the
dropping
data
off?
and- yeah.
Understanding retention.
Right now, what about being like platform specific? Like obviously, because it's only me, it's probably just telling the same story across the different platforms.
Yeah. So on LinkedIn, what I'd do if you really wanted to do it, I'd take what you say, transcribe it, turn it into a text post, and post it as a text with a picture of yourself.
So
bro, get your tats out.
Yeah.
Be this guy. Like be this guy on LinkedIn, because it'll be so different to what they're seeing.
Yeah.
You can see this guy cut like full sleeves. You'll be like, fuck, wait, hang on. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
And especially if you like contradict that with like the shit you talk about, which is what your brand is, right? It's like you look a certain way and then you say a certain thing, and they almost, from a stereotypical point of view, they contradict each other almost, right?
Yeah.
Which is the brand, which is where you've come from. So by doing that, you'll crack it on LinkedIn. What we find on this stuff, the main reason that these don't go well with a talking head and the ones that do, is that like what you're talking about is not broad enough for the general public.
Yeah,
like how do you get it broad enough so everyone can relate?
Yeah, I read your newsletter today.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real good. Like he's real good at it on his own stuff. Like even when he's doing his day one journey stuff, it's still quite like it's universal stuff. Like it's universal things that people can get in behind and agree with. But then he's got the layer that he's starting a clothing line at scootering.
Yeah.
And so then his core audience latches on. But like broadly, like if you do that, and the same thing with like our big TikToks on Attention Seeker. I mean, you get one like the Joni versus Stanley, like that's a boss versus
I remember
employee.
you breaking that down. Yeah.
It's the same shit.
The characters.
That's a storyline that we all get.
Yeah.
But then the specifics of it, our audience really buys into. They know Stan, they know Joni now, and all that sort of shit, right?
Yeah.
So like, I haven't watched all your content, but the ones I've watched, I'd say that he's kind of. Have you watched much of his? No.
Not yet.
They're kind of like where Claude was. Like, they're kind of like, what's the real point?
Yeah.
Like what's the real point of this? Like really, like you haven't got me fast enough to know exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to repeat that heaps, because every single time new people come, you got to tell them what the point is, and that's something that I need to do more of mine.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, and I think I've probably held back. Like, why I like this one went so well is because it was just like authentic, straight off the bat. Like, I'm fucking shitting myself sitting here.
Yeah,
you know? And people are like,
that
oh,
one.
okay, what's
I
going
remember
on
that
here?
one,
You know, and that's why I think it has.
And again, it's the contradiction of like, you know, like.
Yeah, I'll be honest here. What are you going to be honest about?
Yeah, and like, how many young men like you, like, do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not many. Like, not many come out and be vulnerable. So there's like that contradiction of stuff. Contradictions work awesome. You should be using that more and more. Like your tats and the way that you appear versus the shit that you talk about and being vulnerable. They're a contradiction to each other, which makes people go, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Have you watched those guys like the multi-followers who do like the dad and the son?
I've seen some.
Yeah, bro, that's shit. Like that's contradiction, right? It's like, bro, these tough ass multi-followers. And then they're crying at their dad. Like that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like I cried the first time I watched it. I was like, fuck, that's hard to watch. But you can relate to it because all us men have relationships with our fathers that we don't often cry with them, or you know, we're always looking up to him like, is my dad proud of me and all that. Like we all have that feeling. So what I think that video was like 4 million or something stupid like that. Like every man in the world has had that feeling about their dad.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? And then if you don't have a dad, you have that feeling because you don't have a dad, like, and you wish you did, kind of thing. So it's universal, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think there's more stuff we could break down a few content. Like Connor's going to probably tell me off soon for not finishing this up.
Yeah.
But I think we can about anytime you want to chat about it, we can. You don't have to wait to come on a podcast.
Yeah.
But honestly, what I want you to do, bro, is like give it a crack.
LinkedIn.
Like, you know what? Like, I'm going to say you won't do it, but if you do, bro, it'll go.
But yeah, do I need to have an understanding of like my price points, what I'm actually
just try shit, bro. Just try it.
Yeah.
Just test and learn.
Yeah.
The first dude's like, how much? You're like, $3,000. He's like, oh, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, what is right? What do you want? And be like, bro, I'm starting out.
Do you not value your staff, mate?
Just saying but even that. Just like, hey, look, I'm starting out. The last guy I charged $3,000.
Yeah.
That was my last one. So this is where I'm sitting. If you don't think I'm worth $3,000, tell me what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, just tell him I want the job. It's like, and just be honest with me, bro. I can still put food on the table. Tell me what the job's worth. Yeah. Tell me how much.
I got another one the other day. Was I went into my son's daycare, and we just got chatting. Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, what are you up to?" Because I was taking him out of daycare, and then she was like, "Oh no, sorry." I was like, "Oh, I'm heading down. They're flying me down. I'm taking my son to see his nana and that sort of stuff, and I'm going to have a chat around this, that, and the other." And she's like, "Oh, that's right. That's what you do, don't you? Yeah. I'd love you to come in and chat to our staff about it." So the opportunity is 100% there, but it's just about like just letting people know. And creating the opportunity for myself,
bro. And even at $1,000 or $1,500 is not much. Like small businesses like us, like we had a guy in Simon Fowler. He does color code theory stuff with us for about like communication styles.
Yeah,
we had him in the other day. That cost me $1,800, but it's super important for my team. Like I get heaps out of it. That's just how can they better communicate with each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like even small businesses like myself, we can afford $1,500 to $2,000 for a person to come in and speak for a couple hours, and there's fuckloads of small businesses, all right? So like that small to medium range of people, they're all on LinkedIn. You can build them up real fast. The big CEO guys are like harder to work with because there's like less of them and they're super busy.
They probably have to go through other teams as part of it.
Their EA is the one answering their LinkedIn, hardly, it's harder. What I used to do in hotels is actually I just went after the EAs.
Oh yeah,
I honestly did. Sense. Like even in Auckland and in Melbourne, I've got massive EA networks. That 13,000, I'd say 1,500 of them are EAs.
Oh yeah,
because they hold the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know them all real well. Like
who's the decision maker? Yeah, I'll approach them.
Like I'm proper good friends with heaps of the top EAs in Auckland.
Yeah.
That was the first people I met and made friends with.
Yeah, sweet.
I just went out dinner with them as much as I could.
Yeah, cool.
All right, bro. I better wrap this up. But hey, thank you so much for sharing it. I know we probably still got heaps more we need to crack into, so we will off camera. But,
sweet.
Thanks, bro.
Legion, thank you so much.
Cheers,
appreciate it.